This episode is powered by Anivia Pickleball. Based in the heart of Vancouver, BC, whether you're new to the game or a seasoned vet, they have the paddle for you. I myself am currently using their Voltex Gen 3 Pro, which comes in both mid and lightweight. A big thank you for the team at Anivia for taking a chance on me in this podcast. And for listeners of the podcast, if you enter AGorman15 at checkout, you get 15% off. Check out Anivia.com now. That's AGORMAN 15 at checkout. On with the show.
All right, welcome back, everyone. It's a little late in the new year, but happy new year. Hope everyone had a good vacation. How was yours, Victor?
Yeah, it was good. Thank you. How happy new year to you too, Andrew. How's everything?
Oh, it was good. Got to relax a bit. Got to see lots of family, so it was good. But excited to get going. There was lots of news and tournaments that happened while we were away. So excited to get into that.
Yeah, definitely. Me too. Have been practicing quite a bit, and well, we'll talk about it soon.
Let's start off right away with an addendum from the season finale of last year, the rule change on the double touch on the paddle. Victor, seeing how you're the ref, I'll let you take it away with that one.
Yeah, it has been a little bit of confusion at first, right? We talk about at first that carry is no longer allowed. However, if you look at the rule book a little bit more precisely, especially on the item on the we talked about the double hit. So the item 11.8. It used to be like double hits is legal as long as it's in one motion and is unintentional. But this year, just to add more confusion, they remove it completely. So it means you can double hit. So that's a little very, very confusing, and you can see some YouTuber putting some video like just really intentionally double hitting the ball and claim that is actually is fine. But if you do a little bit slightly more digging into that rule, they still say double hit is legal as long as in one direction. So especially some people like has follow like videos like Shea Underwood that is doing some video. He's actually changing direction of the ball. So it's not if it's not one directional double hit is technically a fault. So it's still considered as a carry.
Yeah, I saw that there was one where he basically does like the I guess the pickleball version of the Michigan move around on an ATP around the post. So yeah, that one's gonna get blown down for sure. But I've seen ones where someone dives and like you kind of scoop the ball, but it's a full just upward swing motion. So that would be considered legal. But then if you're trying to Michigan it around the post to get a point, that's gonna get blown down. So it was funny though because there was lots of pro players on podcasts complaining about when we thought the rule was no, it's just immediately blown dead, and they're like, oh, this is going to ruin certain guys' careers and stuff. So I think it had to do. It's not fully explained that well, mind you. I thought we understood it pretty well when we first read it on the season finale there, but So with this switch back now, it does put the onus more on the ref now to make that judgment call. Was it intentional, and were they changing directions with the ball? So it's a little bit tougher on the refs that way. I kind of liked it how it was black and white, like no, it's just blown dead. But we'll see how it goes. I'm interested to see in upcoming tournaments if anyone tries to try anything silly with that. So
yeah, I have been trying to do it during some practice, and it's not easy. Like even you try to intentionally do it, it's not easy to do it.
Yeah, it always seems to be one of those things that unless you like have the timing down for it perfectly, it's really hard to catch the ball like that and literally the lacrosse flick it back into the court. So let's start with some CNPL news. They've got all of their dates announced and their locations. I'll let you do the locations and stuff, Victor, but I'm going to jump into, because this just got announced, I want to say yesterday. The Toronto United team, the team that won the inaugural season, have just re-signed Matt Quanamoto and Mark Gottfried. So they've already got 50% of their team back and signed, so trying to run it back.
Yeah, that's nice.
Interested to see if they get Hannah and Carolina back as well. So those are the first announced signings for the CNPL. There is going to be a play-ins and a draft again. So it'll be interesting to see how many players re-sign or how many players just put their names back into the draft and maybe get drafted by a different team. So looking forward to when they announce when that's going to happen. So, but yeah, go ahead, Victor, with the dates that they've announced.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, they have announced on so the central qualifier. So central qualifier talking about the more the eastern regions. So on March 2nd to the 3rd, and then they have the east qualifier on the March 16 to 17 in Ottawa, Ontario. And on our side, the Western qualifier is in Vernon, BC on the 23rd and 24th. So basically, it's happening in about 2 months ish. So it's pretty soon. Yeah. And in the regular season, they start in Mississauga, Ontario. I believe it will be probably the same facility they did on the finale, I guess.
The One Center. Yeah, that was a really nice venue when you looked at it on YouTube on the stream and stuff, and all the players had nothing but good things to say about it when I talked to them about it. So
yeah, that would make sense because I don't see any new building out yet. So that will be on May 25th to 26th. The second stop will be in. Haven't really said anything yet. They said it's going to be on Ontario in July 6th and 7th. And then they come to the west on August 10 to 11. Calgary, Alberta didn't announce anywhere yet, but I will assume it's going to be the Calgary Pickleball Center probably, or maybe
that's the only place I could think of where you could have it right now, unless there's something else that's been built down in Calgary. Anyone from Calgary listening, give us a buzz on Instagram or on Twitter or something if you guys know any different, but. As far as like a level facility where you could get some pro games in where it's a good, solid outdoor court, you can use the outdoor ball, that would be the one. I'm interested to see where they would do it though, just because I know the walls are a little narrow on those courts with the exception of the one side. So unless they're planning on maybe taking, and those are permanent fences too. So the one complaint that the pros might have playing in that place is that like they have it opened right at the net. So you can get ATPs and stuff, but from about from where the kitchen line starts back to the end line, it's a very, very little space out to the sides. To play. Like I know when I played a tournament there, there was a few times I ran into that fence just trying to get it was just a good angled ball, but it wasn't like it was completely out of the realm of getting if you're playing on a regular outdoor court, you could have easily got it and bumped it back in. So I'm interested to see if they use the Calgary Pickleball Center, or if something else has come up, like if they're going into like a stadium or something kind of like what they did with Edmonton last year. So yeah, we'll wait and see for that. And then do they have the playoffs dates announced as well?
And then they have the playoffs on August 31st and September 1st to the 2nd. So basically end of the month. They only announced it's going to be in the West. Didn't say any province and anything. So probably more to follow.
Yeah, I'd say probably, judging by the teams that we have, I'd say probably Vernon would probably be a top pick for that. Or maybe bumping it back up to Edmonton, especially now with the new hub opened up there. That would, for me, that would be a good place to stick it as well. So interested to see where those are, and I'm waiting for the announcement for when they're looking for people to register for the qualifiers. So because that still hasn't been announced yet. At least last time I checked the site, I got the site up here on my computer, and so far I have not seen, because normally there's a spot where you can click to go in. So that hasn't been bumped on the page yet. As soon as it is, I'll probably just post something on our Instagram page and stuff like that, letting everybody know about that. But really excited for the second season of that. We'll see if the Toronto United team can repeat, or if someone else comes through and takes over the championship spot.
Yeah. At least we got the dates, so which is good, I guess.
Yeah, nice for us. Yeah, we can kind of like book ourselves around it to, if not to attend, at least to watch online. So actually, seeing how we are on the CNPL topic, a big shout out to Casey Rodgers, who was on the Rocky Mountain Rush last year. She just got drafted by the Western Vipers of the Australian Major League Pickleball League.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to stick the graphic right up here above my head. So I might have and the Australia MLP Instagram page, for anyone who wants to know, is called Pacific Pickleball. Same thing. I'll stick the logo up here. I'm looking forward to see where they announce it, if we can watch those games on YouTube or something. And then we can, it's always fun to cheer a Canadian on when they're playing in another country. So congrats to Casey on that. And maybe they'll send us some swag, because that Vipers logo looks awesome.
Nice. That's good.
Right.
It's good that we have some exposure from other country, right? So
no, exactly. Yeah. The Western Regionals just got announced. What was the dates for those ones?
Yeah, so Western Regional will be in July, the 25th to the 27th. It's going to be in Vernon BC also. So I think Andrew, you did go to the over there last year during the CNPL qualifiers, right? So
yes, it's a very, very nice facility they have there. And actually, shout out to Vernon as well. They also won the Club of the Year on Pickleball Today magazine. So I got to play on the indoor part of the facility. It's basically outdoor courts, but they got this giant tent over it. And the courts are really nice. You don't have to worry about wind or anything like that. The only one complaint, and for me this wasn't even an issue, but for some players was because it's like a tent type thing, the acoustics are really loud from when you're hearing all the balls being played when there's multiple games being played. But honestly, that's like a non-factor for me. I'm usually zoned out of anything going on around me when I'm playing anyways. The outdoor courts look really nice too. I didn't play on those ones, but like I got if they're anything close to how good the ones inside are, they're gonna be great to play on. And they look like they had good spacing as well. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm hoping to go to that one. Me and Irene are kind of trying to, because nationals are in Halifax this year, we're more than likely not going to be able to go to that one. That's a bit of a pricey trip.
Oh yeah.
So I definitely want to do that one, just because I'd love to go see how BC hosts it, because the last two Western Regionals, one was in Regina, and I've gone to Regina a few times now for Western Regionals and for Nationals. And then of course Alberta hosted it last year at Medicine Hat, and I've been to Medicine Hat as well. So I'd like to see how Vernon puts on a tournament, because I haven't attended an actual tournament in BC yet. So I'm really looking forward to that one.
Nice. For me, maybe if I go, probably go as a referee more than a player, probably.
Well, free up one day, because I'll play with you.
We'll see. I'll try. We'll see. We have more sponsor from Pickleball Canada, right?
Yeah, Pickleball Canada just keeps ranking them up. This is perfect. And I know they're having like a summit or something with all of the presidents of the provincial establishments coming up pretty soon here. So be interested in seeing where all these new sponsorship money goes towards. Hopefully nationals, for sure. You want to make that a huge event.
Mm-hmm.
You can siphon it into, say, like Western regionals, Eastern regionals, and stuff like that. I would say those would be the main tournaments you'd want it involved in. And then of course with development, if they can assist the provinces with developing and stuff like that. But yeah, so like we have Neil Brothers Snacks, Crank Coffee, and then Rescue 7. Mm-hmm. So Neil Brothers Snacks are like peanuts, candies, a bunch of different type of snacking things. A lot of times you can find these in like gas stations like Esso and stuff like that. Crank Coffee is one of those coffee brands. That same thing, you kind of find them in gas stations, but you can also do those ones where you order them online and they ship them to your house. And then Rescue 7 is I think the background on that one?
I think it's a CPR, like a little bit like the St. John's ambulance or something like that. So,
yeah, so the guys they'll do training for CPR. The money goes to all that type of stuff. So yeah, that's awesome, because then you're not only are you getting a sponsor, but then you're also bringing light to like life-saving stuff. So that's perfect as well. So so super excited. Hope Pickleball Canada keeps rolling in the sponsors. I know we could use some sponsors too. So if anyone's
Oh, yeah.
watching and wants to sponsor the podcast,
Oh, yeah.
I'll always do a shameless plug like that. But no, yeah. So I hope Pickleball Canada keeps ranking them in. The more and more sponsors we can get that especially aren't associated with pickleball sports already. So like, as much as we love having like Selkirk and Eula and Anivia for me and like all that stuff, but they're already in pickleball. Whereas if you can get more eyes, like we said, well, and like we said with CPA, how CPA got Tim's. Anytime you can get a company that's not associated with the sport already, or at least not associated with pickleball, and then get more eyes on it, it's always a good thing. So
yeah, it's always a win when you have other exposure than pickleball, because everyone knows all the pickleball brand, but not the others, right?
exactly.
We have some CPA signing.
Yes, I saw that. We're up to what, 11 athletes now?
Yes, we're up to 11. There's 3 more that got signed. Do you know those guys?
I have not seen Luis Charles play. I have seen Candace play, and of course, Mark Gottfried played for the Toronto United with Matthew Quanamoto. Mark is an insanely good player, and Candace actually, she played with, I want to say it was Kim Brent at Nationals, and they ended up losing to Kim Layton and Christina Chin in the finals at Nationals. She's a very, very, very good player. Very measured on the floor. So that's just another good signing. So far, we are like, if you're just looking at just the females signed by the CPA, that is a tough group. Like you got Kim Layton, you got Maria, you got Christina Chin, Jessica, and now you got Candace. I got a feeling, depending on what happens with like the Walker sisters or Hannah Blatt, if they don't come in, then 1 or 2 other people we CPA or that we've seen at Nationals will be bumping in there pretty quickly. But that's a strong female pool. Not to mention the guys is a strong one too, but just those females there that you're going to get good matches no matter what. So super stoked for that.
So excited, but hopefully they're gonna post the location soon, because they have been posting players, but like, are they coming? Like where are the venues? Are they?
We can look at that map that they posted and we can kind of guess. Like I'm assuming the one that's in Alberta is in Edmonton just because of where the dot is, and it looks like it's Vernon or Kamloops, Kelowna area for the one that's in BC. I'm assuming the Quebec one is going to be probably where Ernesto's club is, just because he was the first player signed and stuff like that, and his facility is very, very good. And I got a feeling that the one that's going to be in probably Toronto area would either be at the One Health Club or at like High Sports, because High Sports is also sponsoring it. So those are educated guesses on our part, but until they actually announce locations themselves, we can just do hypotheticals.
Quite a bit of shakeup on sponsorship. There's a lot of pros changing their sponsorship. So one of the big one, I think, is the Tyson McGoffin. Like they're one of the
you jump into Eula. Yeah, that's probably in, like, if you're looking at someone who's like a face of the company, because like he was definitely kind of the face of Selkirk, him and Catherine Parento. So him jumping over there.
So he's almost like the anchor. He almost like kickstarted almost like the
exactly
the whole,
right. So
the whole Selkirk.
So that's a big loss for Selkirk. Now they do have Jack Sock coming in, and just his name recognition alone from the tennis crowd will help with that. But we'll see how it goes with that. And then Catherine Parento just keeps winning or coming in second to Annalie Waters anyways. So she's gonna be a constant there anyways. So I think Selkirk's gonna be okay. Like we're not worried about Selkirk, but that is a big loss. The fun thing with Eula is that he's not really gonna have his own signature paddle. He's just using the Magnus, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so and the fact that, and because Ben Johns is the poster boy of that one, he's going to be basically second fiddle to Ben unless Ben's planning on moving on from Eula.
No, I don't think so.
And I don't think he is. So it's going to be interesting to see how they balance out the advertisement, because like Ben's dominated the Eula advertisements, but now you got Tyson in there who is a big personality. So it's going to be interesting to see how Eula does their commercial breakups at tournaments and stuff like that. So
definitely, I agree. And Yola also got another one, Deco Bar. He jumped from Engage to a Yola too. So well, is it surprising? I would say not really. That Deco hasn't had any big success in any way last year. So I will say that's probably just money talks.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. At the pro level there, especially once you're in the Engage, the EULA, the Selkirk, Pro Connect, any of those type of big level paddles, if you're a player, you're gonna go where the money's at. Unless you are like super like superstitious on what paddle you use,
exactly.
But
like
yeah, because
couple of years
they're all pretty close to the same at this point until someone makes another big leap, which we don't think is coming for at least another year or two. So
no, I would say unless there is a huge breakthrough. I don't think so. Like couple just interesting one. You have Ali Jones jumping from Yola to Carbon, and then you have Megan Dezon jumping from Pro Kinetics to Proton.
And Proton's been making some pushes there because both the Walker sisters are now in Proton as well. Like at first it was just Alex, and then Angie just switched over to Proton as well. So that's Proton's starting to move itself up the ranks. It's not with it. Megan's probably the highest level player right now with the Proton, I think.
Male, female, yes, but for male will be Andre Diescu.
Okay, yeah. So like it's working its way up. It's not with like the superstars yet, but it's definitely climbing its way up the ranks. It's starting to actually catch Carbon by the looks of it. So
it's catching pretty close. And then Takeya is not making paddle anymore. Thank God. This is because they're. I'm sorry, but I'm sorry, Takeya, but they're not good. I'm sorry. I'm telling you, they're just not good. And if you're making water bottle, I don't think you can associate yourself into pickleball paddle. So they make a great decision. They say, you know what, we're just gonna stick with water bottles. So that's it. So therefore the Newmans does not have paddle anymore. And Raleigh, what he did, he just pick up Zane's paddle, so the Pro XR Zane's version. And
wasn't there a buyout recently between like Pro XR and what's the one that Waters uses?
Oh, it's the Paddle Tech. Yeah, there's just an I think last week. Yep, just they just announced the parent company of Pro XR bought Paddle Tech. So and just for information, they also own one of the team in MLP. So therefore they like really get invested a lot of money in there. It's Paddle Tech and Pro XR is gonna merge. Really, they don't really merge. It's still gonna be two separate entity. But
they're just under the one umbrella type of thing. Yeah.
Well, which is good because they will have more money. They will be able to create more paddle because like Paddle Tech was the reference of the pickleball paddle for years, and then suddenly I'll say in the years 2000 or 2001 they got surpassed by all other like Selkirk, the Yola, because they didn't have any new paddles after that. And
pretty much the only thing keeping them alive was having water signs. So
exactly, so that was a little I will say a little lame, but now I think now with a little bit more equity, they probably can get back into the game.
Yeah.
So
and then for the Canada side, didn't we have another big name switch over?
Yeah, Enesco, our number one Canadian now went from Gamma to Yola. So Yola is actually really making a big push right now. They're really signing quite a little pro. I'm actually excited for him because Gamma's paddles are not that good. I'm sorry, they haven't been improved at all.
They make really good shirts though.
Yeah,
their pickleball shirts are very, very good and very, very comfy. Because they made the clothing for, I want to say it was provincials or nationals. It's one of these shirts behind me here. No, well, it's not these two, so it must be that one. That they made the shirts for that, and then Irene has a couple of pickleball women's tanks that was made by Gamma, and they were pretty good. So
nice. I know Gamma because I have tennis background. They used to have like pretty good strings, over grips. They do make pretty good. And then they jump into the pickleball scene after that. Unfortunately, they didn't have any big improvement scenes, unfortunately. So like their best paddle right now is the Obsidian, that was Gen 1 raw carbon fiber. You don't see anyone playing with it, unfortunately.
No, not well. Yeah, not at the competitive levels, anyways. And yeah, and Eula with getting Ernesto, that's a big grab, because not only do they have him now, they're one of the main sponsors of the CPA Pro Tour. So yeah, so they're making a huge push in Canada. They're trying to really snatch up that market now that Canada's starting to get its own pro leagues in. So I'll be interested to see if they make a push for the CNPL as well, seeing how I don't think the CNPL has. Oh, CNPL does have Selkirk on theirs. But normally leagues can have both Selkirk and Eula sponsoring them. So I'll be interested to see how big of a push they make for that. I know majority of the top from Ernesto, and then Matt is engaged, but then most of the rest of them are all on Selkirk still.
Yeah, but I think Christina's changed also. Like
she switched to Eula now as well?
I have a feeling, because she used to be playing with Selkirk Power Air all the time, and now I think since January her Instagram feed she's playing with Yola. So I guess the whole high sport changed to Yola.
Yeah, because and if her contract with Selkirk went out, then it wouldn't be a big deal to change.
Definitely. Anyway,
yeah.
Well, let's jump on for the next one. Have you been watching PPA lately?
I did get to PPA. No. Oh yeah, the PPA. Yeah, me and Irene actually did get to sit down and watch it for some of the final matches of the Masters.
A lot of pros is complaining, right? That new serving rules. Do you understand how it works?
Oh, the serving rules. I don't have an issue, because you've seen me serve. I'm serving down at like my knees, the way I serve. So for me, it had zero effect whatsoever. But yeah, it's got to be below the waist. The ball can't have, like, you can't like toss the ball and let it drop. You have to drop it straight down. You can't like jump up with the movement and stuff. I'll let you go into it. Yeah, just because I'm not.
Yeah, so I follow a lot with it, especially if I'm playing in PPA. I think all my serves are illegal, unfortunately. So how yeah. Anyway, so first, one of the big thing, unfortunately, with that rule, so that ball has to drop below the waist. That's a little that's not big change. Basically, in the current rule book, you should be releasing below the waist, or the contact needs to be below the waist, so doesn't really matter. But the biggest problem is the ball needs to go only on downward position. So what's the big problem is, like when you I'll try to show it in camera.
Here, I got you here. So yeah, for those of you wanting, you can't do this and drop the ball. You have to do that.
Yeah, even more.
Sorry
more
for
than
those
that.
audio listeners, but I just if you're watching on the YouTube channel, I just demoed, like, I semi-tossed the ball up in the air to let it drop, and then the other one I just did a dead drop. You have to do a dead drop.
Exactly. Even worse than that. So like I will say, sometime when you walk into hitting the ball, like your body will naturally have your have
a lift.
Lift. And by doing this is illegal. So you're like, what? So there's a lot of players are complaining. The pros are very fairly frustrated, and the refs are not being consistent. That's another thing. A lot of
it's hard to get. That's a lot of stuff to look for just on a serve. The old thing where it was like, hey, you have to make contact below the waist. You have to do that. Like the 4 or 5 basic things that you guys used to have to look at was pretty simple and straightforward. Now it's like, oh, well, you can't have upward motion with this. You can't do this. And I'm just like, hey, that's like 30 things you want the refs to look at right now. And I'm like, no wonder that's not consistent. Like, that's too many things for you guys, for refs to look at. So
yeah, exactly. It's way too much. And anyway, I think probably they're gonna get removed next time. I was saying it was funny, like one of the top PPA ref that was reffing the some of the matches, like have to bend down and then look at, oh, is that ball has to be rise up and or not before at the serve. So it was like, that looks so awkward how the ref was looking at it. But anyway, that's what they try. Hopefully they're not going to continue with it. Now we're talking about a little bit about the result. Any result that's stuck out to you?
Well, yeah, John's got knocked out by that really young guy. How old was he?
I think it's 17. Sorry, 17.
Yeah, right. So, and that was I watched. I didn't get to watch that match live, but I watched some of the highlights, and that kid's got a kick-ass forearm or forehand. And he was making Ben really stretch out. Like, normally, when Ben gets up to that kitchen line, he can drop it wherever he wants, but he was stretching himself out a fair bit, and I think he just eventually wore Ben down, just with his power and with his movement and footwork.
Yeah.
And then the rest of them, Jack Sock did pretty good. Him and Catherine Parento was an interesting team up. You could tell they were still getting used to each other.
Yep.
I think it almost would have been better for them because they did the progression seeding. If they would have had like a lower seed and got to play like 3 or 4 matches and then got into like that top 16, because you can see the potential there with Jack. He's still like, he has a better forehand than I will ever have, but I think I have a better backhand than him right now.
Exactly. He's running around.
Like it's, you can see, and like he's making, like, it looks like he's making the right footwork decisions. It's just the final kind of finish off and that final little decision making he's at right now. But yeah, anything forehand, he's freaking unbelievable, which doesn't surprise me for like a doubles tennis gold medalist, right? So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how he goes.
Yeah, you can see he did put a lot of effort in pickleball, which is good, because unfortunately in this master there's some other tennis player does not play too good in PPA.
Bouchard. And that was the thing with Jeannie, was like you didn't see any videos or sizzle reels of her like practicing.
No, not at all.
They kind of fed her to the wolves. Like, I don't think like when they put her into that spot, when was it the top 16 they had her and her partner in?
Yeah,
they got like the immediate buy. I think it should have been the same thing. Like they should have been in like the top 36 or something like that. So they got a few games. And I know the reason why they did is because it's a big name draw and you wanted more eyes on it.
Exactly.
But the result was, because what did they do? What was it, like 11-4, 11-2 or something? They got spanked.
Probably even worse. I'll say the first game was 11-0 almost, I think.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Second game was a little bit close, but not that close.
Yeah. And then when you watched her in singles, same thing. You could see the tennis stuff come out. And that's when she would get her points and get some momentum going. But same thing, like once it turned into a little bit of that more finesse, especially on the backhand, that's where you can tell she needs to work on that. So like if she works at it as much as Jack Sock's working at it, she'll be fine. Like she's got that background of playing high level tennis, and at one time being ranked in like the top 10 or top 15 in the world.
She'll turn top 5.
Yeah, right, exactly, right. So like she's got that pedigree, and so if she works at it and takes it seriously, because like Jack Sock looks like he's taking it super seriously.
Yeah.
She will do fine. It'll just be it's growing pains is what that's going to be. It'd be like you or me last year getting into the CNPL. You could see potential, but there's no way we're on the level of the rest of those guys, right? Like at that time. Type of thing. Like, so like, oh yeah, if they keep it up and they keep working at it, like yeah, they can get there, and they have certain skills that are almost at that level, but then there's other ones where there are clear deficiencies, right? So that's kind of like I felt with them, and it was because of the name, and you do want like those names coming from tennis are big draws, and you do want those on like the live streams and the TV, so that's why they got bumped into those progression draw spots. So I can see the reasoning for it, but yeah, it was a little on Jeannie's side, it was a little lackluster, and like I said, because they didn't show any sizzle reels and stuff, it almost gave the impression like it felt like she just walked onto the court for the first time with a paddle in her hand and said, oh yeah, I can totally take out these pickleball players who've been doing it for like 5-10 years.
Yeah.
It's like no, that's not how that works. Whereas at least
Yeah.
with Jack, you had seen sizzle reels of him working on stuff, and you could see it because like he got super far in singles, and then him and Catherine Parento still got to what was it like the
Semis,
final
right?
8?
Did they make all the way to semis or
Yeah, it was either
quarters?
semis or just before semis.
No,
They got
quarters.
to.
Sorry. Yeah, they make to quarters, and single he make all the way to semis.
Yeah, right. So like you can see that with him, and you can see the progression. So yeah, so it's it'll be interesting to Jeannie being there, and then with Sock being like a story, it'll give me more reason to watch a little bit more because it won't just be. And with John's getting upset that handily in singles, it's a little bit more reason to watch and not just look at the highlights after now, right? So it's just a little bit more of a change. Whereas on the women's side, it's still Waters and Parento whooping
Still too
everybody.
far.
And like
Still, the gap is still too far.
Yeah, and Catherine's like in the first set when she plays Waters in those singles, she gives her a good run because it's always like 11-9 or like a 12-10. But then the second game, Waters
just wears her down,
and then it's like 11-4, 11-5, right? So
yeah.
Catherine's getting there. You can see the baby steps happening. So eventually, I'd say maybe by the end of this year, like if you like the tournament in like this November coming, you might see a really like epic clash where they go to like extra sets or something like that. So, especially if Catherine keeps working the way she's been working.
She has a very good work ethics and everything. So I'm hoping to see more. But that at the same time, there's not much of a very interesting result during this master. Other than what was special about the PPA Master. So there's a couple of things. So it's they call it Grand Slam right now. So it's a 2,000 point, and it's gonna be quite important because now the seedings does matter. If you're seeding higher, you might have more buys compared to other players. So you need to play less in order to get more points. So that's important. And now they did it a little bit like a Wimbledon, so like in tennis, so everyone has to wear white. So that was kind of
I did like that, and they made sure the pickleball court was green, like even though it wasn't grass, but it was still like a green. It was like a green covering. So I liked that, and the fact that you're calling it the Masters, and you're going to be so much associated with tennis, you might as well adopt those features, like have the all white for everyone for the thing, have the grass with the white lines. Like it looked really neat, and
it looks nice on TV.
It looked really, really good on TV.
And and then what else that was new this year? That Vulcan ball that came in. So now PPA is the official ball of PPA is Vulcan. I don't know about
Vulcan's
that.
missing so many opportunities. I can't believe they have not done like a Dink Long and Prosper type slogan. That's driving me insane. That's driving me insane how I have not seen any type of Star Trek reference whatsoever from them.
But I think what I can say, they probably missed the mark a little bit because they didn't really advertise that much across the network and anything. They didn't give that ball for like any YouTuber reviewers or anything prior to
no, it was apparently really hard to get a hold of the ball actually when it first got announced, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly, and it's very expensive. They like usually when you buy like the ball in bulk, you should be like having some sort of discount, but not with Vulcan. Like if you buy 100, it's still $4 a ball or something, $4 US dollars a ball. So you're like, why am I buying that much?
And we're not all made of money. So so I'm happy that still the very affordable Franklin is the ball for Canada because you can go to Walmart and get a pack of 3 for like $11. So.
Exactly, and how the ball perform? A lot of people say it's like a Dura, still fast. It has a more neon color, so which is nicer to look on TV and some pros to look.
It's easier to see the ball type of thing.
I think the only concern some pro is, especially when I was looking on some of the finals, the ball bounce sometimes weird. I can definitely see, especially Colin Johns did miss quite more than usual return serve than usual, because you can see the bounce was not as consistent. So some of the people were saying what happened is that ball get out of round a little bit more earlier than other balls, so it does not.
Oh, so it wears out a little bit, and that doesn't necessarily crack, but it's I love how they say deflate, even though the ball is not an inflated ball, but they say
Exactly.
they use the word deflate for that, where it like gets it like more of a almost like a egg shape than like a round shape. So.
So
Yeah.
that would be that's the kind of the only concern that people had. But other than that, why so much money on that ball? Because so PPA and Vulcan that make the deal with that. So they have a $2 million deal with PPA, first of all, and every ball that you buy or I buy, PPA
has to pay for that deal.
Yeah, PPA make 8% royalty out of it. So
wow, 8%.
So
that's
great.
Okay.
That's
whoever negotiated that deal for PPA deserves a raise. Holy crap!
Yeah, so that's why people's like, why Selkirk didn't get it, or anyway, why Vulcan get it was like,
no, because the reason why
that's
Vulcan got it is because they offered PPA that deal, because normally when you do a sponsorship thing, it's okay, we're paying you X amount of money to be your official ball. And like for your events, we'll either provide the balls or give you the balls at a discounted price. But that's usually where the deal ends. Like the sponsor is paying the money up front to be promoted, right? The fact that not only are they paying up front to be promoted, but then they're also giving the PPA a profit share.
Yeah,
that's big. They definitely that's what won them the deal. And I'm like, as soon as you said 8 and an 8. Like most deals are only like a 1% or a 2% type of profit. Like, wasn't it like I remember watching the movie on where Nike signed the deal with Jordan? His thing was his deal was only like 2.5% of the profits of the profits each year, right? I'm just like, and PPA is getting 8%.
Yeah, holy
crap, that's a lot.
And I heard what happened is usually they provide that ball to pros to play with and everything. Now the
pros got to buy the ball now.
Exactly, they're forcing the pros to buy the ball. So
exactly.
Oh my god.
Yep.
And anyway, that was interesting.
So basically, if you're a pro and you're sponsored by Vulcan, you're probably set. But anybody else, no, screw you. You got to pay full price.
Exactly. So the Jade Olivier and then the who's the other guy that was with there. I just blanking. He played with Eugenie Bouchard in mix. I know who you're talking about. But I don't remember his name. Tyler Loon. Yeah, there you go. They're the two big Vulcan sponsor guy. They're the only two that actually say.
And they're probably hoarding the balls and then selling them off to the other pros to make their own profit, right?
That's probably they're gonna make another 8% royalty on top of it.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Anyway. But so going back to the PPA result, nothing surprising, unfortunately. The only surprise was just singles that Ben couldn't make it to the finals, and we discussed about last time that I was saying that progression draws actually hurt Ben in singles because people are more fresh playing on singles. So who won? It was Dylan Fraser who beat Federico Stasrook, which is. I don't think it was surprising. Fraser was coming in hot anyway, but it was a very good final. It was a three game, and Dylan was down like badly on the third game. It was like 9-3, and then he came all the way back. So shout out to him. Women's singles, unfortunately, we already know who won, so I'm not gonna say any more. Men's doubles, same thing. John's bro against the Newman and Wilson. I thought Newman and Wilson played very good. It's just the Johns. It's just
it's just at this point it's automatic.
Yeah, exactly. And then same women's double, and again same partner again, the Waters Parental. They beat Anna Bright and Rob Barker. So people who does not know Rachel Rob Barker, she comes from the MLP, from the Orlando Juice team. That she was the MVP of their team because she was really playing steady. So was not surprised they make it to the final. It's just Water and Parental being too strong.
Oh no,
And,
yeah. Well, did you see like the ESPN highlight ATP that Parenta did in the women's doubles?
Oh yeah, that was
She
nice.
ran like 6 feet off the court and still managed to ATP it or ATP it into the back corner. Like that. They were posting that one on ESPN. So
yes, but that was insane. Like from the back corner to hit it back down there. I was like, probably my board doesn't even reaches to the net. I would say mine.
no, yeah, right. Or if anything, we're trying to lob it just to give ourselves time to run back onto the court.
Oh yeah, they're so good. It's incredible. And then last one's the mixed doubles again. Walters and Johns who beat Anna Bright and Natovich. So it's nothing surprising in there. Finally, at least PPA make their pickleball TV now available worldwide, so you don't need VPN to see it anymore. Because they used to be, I think there's a period of time they just geo-locked to US, but now they make it worldwide. So whenever,
and that's the smart play right now is to get as many eyes on it as possible. Like, I could see if pickleball blows up to even if you want to put it to the point of not necessarily how high tennis is, but like say even 40% of that, then you can sort of start geo-locking and then having, price packages and stuff like that. But right now you just want as many eyes on it as possible.
Exactly. There's not enough viewer yet. So let's just get everyone be able to see it. So anyway, I think
if you make it available on YouTube and for everyone to see it, then you're eventually, and then you get enough people watching it, you're going to make money that way anyway. So
yeah, that's smart. And a little bit the same for last week. They have the APP Punta Gorda open. Seems a little bit the same thing as the PPA. They make a new change on ball, the oil pickleball, so that quiet paddle. They have a official ball. They are the official ball of the APP. Anything special about the ball? Not really. They look. I saw during some of the YouTube stream. Looks like a Dura. It plays also plays like a Dura. Does at least the bounce was pretty consistent. I haven't seen people be missing shots as much as in PPA. So I will say that's maybe so. The bounce maybe looks like more like a X40. So at Franklin, that's about it. And APP did the same thing as what PPA does. Now they instead of putting on the ESPN Plus, which no one has access, now they put it back to YouTube. So that was a smart move.
Yeah.
What else? The results. So obviously APP are not play as with the more well-known pros in there, but at least they have some good pros that won the tournament. So you have Chris Harwood. So Harwood, that's the guy who beat Ben Johns in the US Nationals in singles. He beat Hunter Johnson. Women's single, you have Judy Castillo who beat Megan Fudge. I would say nothing surprising because she is a pretty good player. Yeah. However, the singles was little bit controversial because instead of regular scoring, they went to rally scoring to 15. So that is I don't know. I don't like that. I really don't like it.
The only time I like rally scoring is for the team stuff. Because I get it for that, but I don't like rally scoring for pretty much anything else. Like you want to, I like the you can only score on your serve. I like the two serves for like doubles and stuff like that. Like I like that. Like I find it differentiates itself from tennis in that way, and from like most other racket sports by having those type of rules, and the fact that it turns it more into like a chess match than an actual just who can be the most aggressive and get the points the quickest type of thing. Like team games, I understand doing that because it does make it entertaining. It keeps the games close, but not for regular play. No, I don't.
No, regular play is so tough. There's a couple of things I I found out when I was playing right scoring versus regular scoring, like especially when you're serving, right? In regular scoring, when you're serving, you can be more aggressive because, like, let's say you lose the exchange, no big deal. You're not losing the point because you're serving. But in rally scoring, if you're being too aggressive, you hit the ball out and everything, you can't be that aggressive anymore because you're gonna lose that point.
Yeah, like, and you're not going to try, like, say, like, if you work on a certain type of spin or you're trying to speed up your serve power, you're more timid to try that in a rally scoring situation than you are in regular because, yeah, like you said, worst case scenario, you lose serve in regular, but in rally scoring, okay, if I'm trying to do like a spin serve, like following the rules, spin serve to spin it out and just like to throw it in as like a change of pace to my opponent, I'm less likely to try that during rally scoring because I'm worried about maybe putting it out wide than I would if I just, okay, worst case scenario is I lose my serve.
Exactly. So that was a little bit awkward. And then men's double, you have Will Hallwell and CJ Klinger. So CJ Klinger was playing in one of the challenger in the MLP. He is the MVP of their team. That he is another very young gentleman, 18-year-old, lightning fast hands. So congrats to him. He started the year with a bang. He beat Andre Diascu and Rob Nunnery. So which is pretty tough. Those two guys are really good. So, and then women's double, that was interesting because Georgia Johnson. The Johnson's sister, usually she only plays in the PPA, but this time she did play on the APP. I did a little bit of investigation. Why I was like, why Georgia Johnson was able to play on APP? Because most of the PPA players should be like have that signed contract that does not allow them to play. So what happened is they actually, during that like MLP and PPA war, basically all the Johnsons, so the JW Johnson, the Dylan Fraser, her Georgia Johnson, there's Millen Rain, and also Tardio, Gabe Tardio. So those five people, they actually technically signed with MLP. So therefore they can do whatever they want. So they didn't have any like contract bound with PPA. So that's why she was allowed to play on the APP. And unfortunately, she was partnered with Paris Todd, but they did not win. So Bobby Oshiro and Milane Rain beat them. So that was a surprising result. Mixed double, however, she won. So she won with Yate Johnson. So not Hunter Johnson, because Hunter Johnson is the boyfriend of Paris Todd. So that's why that is why she's not playing with him. They beat Megan Fudge and Andrew Diascu, so which is I would say a regular win because she's a pretty strong female player.
Yeah. I do want to give a quick shout out to Paris Todd though, because she followed me on Instagram.
Oh, so nice!
That is cool as hell for me. So I couldn't believe that when I saw that pop up on my notifications. So shout out to you, Paris. Congratulations on I guess the silver. Hopefully you keep doing well.
She's doing well. It was tricky. I will say that APP event, it was very windy, so you can definitely see there's one side favoring more than the other. So, but anyway, it is what it is. One last thing on the APP, they actually announced they're gonna move their headquarters to the fort. So people who does not know what is the fort is, they actually recently now building a 40-plus pickleball court facility in Fort Lauderdale with a stadium court on top of that. So that's good. And
another reason to vacation to Florida, people.
Oh yeah, and actually makes sense because the USA Pickleball does not really have a training center or anything. Not like the tennis. Tennis, you have the USTA training center in Orlando, and which is a very big facility. But pickleball, which is very big in USA, there's no training like a dedicated training facility. And now they building one in in Fort Lauderdale, which is amazing and which is good also for the pro. I know that PPA was supposed to build one also in Texas area, so no, sorry, it's not Texas, in Phoenix.
Arizona, yeah, that doesn't surprise me if they do end up building one.
It's Scottsdale, but there is still kind of the limbo because it first announced and then there's no news following after that. So I don't know if and they're supposed to partner with USA Pickleball, but now you have the APP now now moving towards this area, and usually APP are kind of all sanctioned tournament for USA Pickleball. So I don't know.
They've got that angle worked out. Like even though PPA has the higher level pros, APP's has the in with the USA Pickleball, so they kind of balance itself.
So we'll see who gets what anyway.
That explains why when you listen to the Dink Pickleball, how Zane and I can't remember who his co-host name is, how they don't know anything about USA Pickleball and what they do. A couple of their episodes back, they said, "Yeah, what does USA Pickleball even do?" Right? And I'm like, "Well, you're a pro, so you don't pay attention to that type of stuff." But like any amateur player knows what. Like that would be like a pro in Canada saying, "What does Pickleball Canada do?" I'm like, they do quite a bit. Like
exactly.
It's like they do quite a bit. Like it's not maybe for you pro players, but they do a lot for us amateur players. So
exactly. So
I was like, that's where I get my insurance from.
Exactly. Here we go. Yeah. Last year, I'm saying they have approved, the USA Pickleball approved way too much paddle. For some reason, that's my take on it. They used to give a quick little bit of perspective. So 2013, they only approved 38 paddles, and then 2019 they approved 116. 2020 120. So you think there's an increasing trend. Still okay. 2021 288, and then you have
that's where you see the blow up because of COVID.
Yeah, exactly. And then 2021 was 288, and then 2022 476, and then now the 2023 I didn't have the final number. I think it's into 900. So which is
wow.
That's insane. The amount
that's a lot now. So yeah, there will be some ones out there. Now there's a lot of ones out there that you can clearly say they're wreck. Like there's like no name brand. Like if you go to Walmart right now, there's one called Banshee, and it's literally just a wooden paddle.
Yeah,
but it's a cheap little $15 paddle or $20 paddle, whatever, for someone who just wants to go play some rec or learn to play for the very first time. Then you have ones like Top and stuff who are around the $50 mark and things like that. So like I can see how there being a lot now. Them being all approved surprises me. Like I would have thought it would have been like I would have guessed closer to like the 200s. Now, mind you, these are paddle like now if you go with even just the big companies, like how many types of paddles does Selkirk have?
Yeah, they have so many. I would say there's 20 at least 20.
Yeah, so even if you just went say like the big 5 or the big 3, so if you go Selkirk, Eula, and then what's the other one, like Gearbox or something like that?
Either Gearbox or Carbon.
Or Carbon, yeah. So like each of those, so like Selkirk's has 20, Eula probably has around 15 or something like that. So just the 3, and then Gearbox, same thing, has about 15. So if you just take the 3 of them by yourself, you're almost at 100 paddles already.
Yeah.
Right. So I can kind of see why now there's 800. So say if you have about 30 brands, but each of them have 10 paddles each.
But Andrew, that numbers, I'm saying new paddles. I'm not talking about the old ones. Those are new paddle that got approved on this specific year. So the ones that has
I know, but that's not, yeah. But anytime even Selkirk rolls out the new version of like the Air Pro,
that's true.
Right?
That's true.
Like that's right. Like so, like Catherine Parenteau's new like a white and blue one,
for
example, which came out late last year. Technically, that's a new paddle, even though it's not really a new paddle, right? So
that's true. I got it.
That's what I kind of mean by that. So like I said, if you take even just the 5 big name brands and each of them have about 10, 15 paddles each, that's where you're getting the crap ton there. Now there's probably a bunch in there that I'm like, okay, why is this approved for tournament? When it's like I'm sorry, if it's like a less than $50 paddle, it probably shouldn't be tournament approved.
Yeah, and
you can guarantee it's not it's not a quality, like not like not a competitive quality. Anyways, like it's fine for rec, but it's not a competitive quality paddle.
I definitely agree. And unfortunately, on top of that, you have a lot of we call copycats. So basically, it's the same paddle like as a Yola or as a Selkirk, but just slap their names on there.
Yeah, so, almost exact same dimensions, almost exact same look to it, right?
And I'll say right nowadays, it's actually in theory pretty difficult to make a shitty paddle, because if you just go to China, or just get a contact from China to say, get me a mold of a Gen 2 raw carbon fiber. There's like basically no way you're gonna make a crappy paddle out of it, because that if they have now a certain standard coming out of it, that's now it's like maybe the little bit finicky modification that you make, maybe that will stand out from the pickleball world, which is we're actually still waiting right now, unfortunately, because from the past month, so there is quite a bit of paddle that came out, and actually I was able to test out. So the 6-0 Ruby with the Kevlar face, I tested out. The 6-0 was making like a big show. Oh, here he goes, Kevlar is like it's gonna be bulletproof or something like that, whatever.
Yeah,
I tested out. It's just like a double black diamond basically, and that's it.
It's like the same as the previous one, just the new name.
I didn't feel, to be honest with you, I didn't feel any big difference. Like I have a double black diamond, and I tested out right after the Ruby. It feels the same to me. So basically, only the look looks not cleaner and nicer, and that's it. For me, if you have a double black diamond, don't even bother changing it. There's nothing juicy enough for you to change. And then one of my buddy also get the Paddletech, the annually water version. So the thinnest, the 12.3, I think that's the thickness. I did a little bit spin test. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the 2,000 RPM that people was getting online. But that could be because I just finished playing like a 4-hour pickleball when I was testing it. So
your arm doesn't have that strength anymore.
Yeah, maybe just tired. So
you gotta do that when you're fresh.
Exactly. So, but however, I did play.
I've taken your drive, and I know it's not that weak.
Exactly. Yeah, and then, but however, I play a full game with it. I really enjoy it. That drive and my big serve, so satisfying. That's very satisfying. Like you really power through that ball like very hard, and that paddle is like extremely loud. So that makes sense that why Andalee she's hitting on TV is so freaking loud, and it makes sense.
Has that rhythm sound too? That's good.
And another thing, that paddle is so light. It's very, very, very light. I compared to my Legacy. So my Legacy Pro has 120 as swing weight, and this one should be about the Andalee Waters version should be about 105 swing weight, and that was really noticeable. Like after I played with the Andalee Waters paddle, I was picking up my Legacy Pro. I was like, holy crap, this is so heavy. I can't play with that anymore.
That was like when I switched from my Selkirk Omni to my Anivia. Just the difference in the weights alone, like I was like, holy crap. I'm like, I'm never switching back to that heavier paddle, because it was just so much easier to, especially like when you get into firefight with quick hands and stuff, it's just so much nicer.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I can feel it now. What else? I talked to like Vatic Pro and Oya, which is the other paddle with like a very long handle. They're now probably making a little bit the same thing as 6-0. They're probably going to incorporate the Kevlar on their face. Oya also told me they probably gonna do we call a double layering of thermoforming. So I don't know what it means yet. We'll see. However, there is a new paddle company called 11/6/2024. If people have follow Pickleball Studio, so Chris Olsen did. He's in Hawaii. He's traveling back to USA now, but he was in Hawaii. He just won a tournament, a 4-5 tournament over there with that paddle. It's called the Hurash X. So what's actually interesting with that paddle is they have we call it triple layer T70 carbon layer on it. So apparently, with multiple layering of carbon fiber, you might be able to have a better shock absorption on when you're hitting the ball, and on top of that, you're still not sacrificing the power on with that. So maybe that I would say that's an interesting combo that's coming out next year. What else I can say? Gearbox, the Gearbox Pro. Unfortunately, if I'm following the Discord group very closely, people is unfortunately being didn't really like the paddles anymore, because there's like starting to have core crushing. So a little bit the same problem of the thermoforming paddles that first started. So now, same problems with the Gearbox. Unfortunately, I think their quality control wasn't up to speed on it. So therefore they're losing traction because of it. Yola, if you're looking at the bands, Ben Johns, Colin Johns, all the Yola's sponsor player, they're now playing with a new paddle. So basically the Perseus, the Scorpius, and the Magnus from Tyson, they're all gonna have a new core in their paddle. So Yola is actually experimenting with the new core. So we'll expect gonna be probably a summer launch of a new line of Yola. Selker didn't have much new release. They just released the same paddle, the Halo, with a different color. So here you go. You have the two more new paddles, but it's just color change. Like, come on. Anyway.
Yeah, and the Halo for me was I didn't like that. I tried that one out, and I wasn't a big fan of the Halo at all. So, but everyone to each their own on that one. But yeah, I didn't like the way that Halo felt in my hands when I was using it. So
me neither. It just felt like a Gen 1 carbon fiber paddle. It's way too soft to my hands. I just couldn't use it, unfortunately. Yeah. And then Engage is launching there's a new paddle they're launching the Max. Basically, it's not really a super new paddle. No new technology is coming in. It's probably I would say a downgrade because it's slightly cheaper. It's called the Engage Max. They now, instead of like all the Engage paddle usually is the 250 plus. That paddle is 199, but still I was like, still expensive, unfortunately. Yeah. Anyway, there's another pickleball company called the Jip Pickleball. So they did a little bit almost like what the Adidas Metabone is trying to do. Now they have like kind of a little, you're on the instead of the on the throat of the paddle is the butt cap. You can add more weight or take more weight off from the butt cap. So on like right on the handle. So I would say that was an interesting concept, but the only problem is the interchangeable weight is between a 10 to a 15 gram. So I was like, you should have give us more than that. Come on.
Yeah, it should be more than just the two, unless it's like they're coming included when you buy the paddle.
Yeah, it did come. Apparently,
I could see maybe just the two included with the paddle, and then if they have other ones you want to buy separately, I could maybe see that happening.
Yeah,
but they're probably going to start with the 10 and the 15, and maybe they're included. Like you get one of each with your pack. I don't know. I haven't seen the stuff for this one, but that if I was the company, that's what I would do, is like release it with both, and then maybe have like, I don't know, if you want heavier or lighter, have like an extra one of each, and then you can order those separately.
Yeah, exactly. And Head just released actually today their new line of Radical line. Basically, they just they call the Radical Tour Grid or the Grid X. basically they're just catching up. It's a Gen 2 carbon fiber with the thermoform and form injected wall. So really, to be honest, nothing new. So I will say they cannot suck with a Gen 2 paddle, and they actually discontinued the Gen 1, so the radical tool raw, because no one was using it and no one liked it anyway. So that was interesting. Interesting.
Done. What do we have left? Just upcoming tournaments for us?
Oh yeah, upcoming tournaments for us. So for me,
I know I don't have anything in January, but you have something in January.
Oh yeah, well, in how many days? 2 days actually. Saturday I'm playing that Trickle team tourney. It's gonna be tough because this time's like I think it's 18.5 point duper for the team, so which is pretty high. And I was looking at the teams. Lester just sent it to me, the team lineup. One of the team is the Makila brothers. So looks gonna be that looks tough because those two guys are playing into the 4.5 plus in like regular tournaments. So that's
the brothers. And is Mai playing with them, Jerwin?
No, apparently she is not.
That surprises me.
Yeah, that was interesting. She was supposed to be, and she's not in the lineup anymore. So
maybe she had to work. That's a big loss for them because she's very, very good. For those of you listening who don't know who we're talking about, that's Irene's regular female partner who they've basically won everything last year except for provincials. They got silver. Everything else they played together and they won gold.
They basically the Enderly Waters and Catherine Parento.
And the Catherine Parento of at least the 4.0. Now they'll be moving up to 4.5 this year. But yeah, last year for 4.0 they were basically Annalie Waters and Catherine Parento.
Exactly. That's how I call them. They're the duos. How many teams? So basically there's 10 teams. We did practice with most of the teams in those tourneys. Definitely not going to be a easy run for us, but our team is pretty good too. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, right on. And then the next one coming up is in March, and you and me are playing together. It's another one of those team tourneys in St. Albert, and we are stealing the Catherine Parento and the Annalie Waters. Got my wife Irene and her partner Mai are going to be playing with us, so I'm really looking forward to that one. I'm looking forward to playing with Victor. I can just let him swing away with his forehand, and I'll just kind of sit there and reset. Actually, it'll be like playing with just a male version of Irene. So
yeah, which is actually perfect because you play right and I play left most of the time. So which is kind of perfect. Yeah, you reset any ball possible, and I'll just pounce at any ball that's popping back to me.
Yeah, exactly, and I will not take offense if you poach. So that's been my biggest problem because like when I don't find a partner right away and then I do end up just picking somebody up at random at tournaments, a lot of times they want me to play left, and I'm okay at playing left, but I'm used to being the setup man because of how much I play with Irene. So I'm used to being able to do that really good cross stink to make them pop it up, and then my partner just comes in and finishes it. So when I'm the one who has to be the one who's getting set up and my partner's not used to that, it's been a little bit hard. So I'm still looking for that consistent partner because I know you and Lester are pretty much a tandem for most tournaments. I've already told and for anyone listening, I've already told both him and Lester if either one of them can't make one, just give me a call. Lester probably already has Ben as his backup, so I don't know. But.
Well, actually, Ben, for some next year, Ben's gonna have to look for a new female partner because Ava Weekson, he's gonna want to play with his brother apparently. So that
she wants to play with Connor.
Yeah, she wants to go up to like that almost 5.0 level. So it's gonna be tough, but I think
that's gonna be
makeable.
That's gonna be a big jump for her because Connor's very, very good now. Connor, I've played against him. I played against him when he was like my very first tournament I ever played. I played against him in singles, and he was like 16 at the time, and he ended up beating me. I think because we were on the B side of the bracket, so I want to say he beat me like 15-11. And then I didn't play him again until the qualifiers in Vernon last year for the CNPL, and he got like super buff.
He
But
was good.
yeah, he's got an insanely good drive. His hand reaction is really good. Where you can catch him, at least since I've watched him play a couple of times last year, where the high level players, at least like when he's playing against like Brad Chapman and them, tend to catch him is on his backhand. Like he's got a good backhand, but that's still where his like weak point would be. If you can catch him, especially if he's coming up and you can catch him on his backhand, that's where he tends to have a little bit of problems. Ava is
okay,
and hopefully Ava's ankle is hopefully it's fully healed from last year, because I know
I think so. She's getting
she's
better,
playing most of last year with a brace on, and you could tell it was really affecting her footwork. So
she's getting I'll say she's getting much better, definitely. And I'll say the other thing that you can get to corner is just get him get him to get frustrated.
Oh yeah, get in his head, because he's his own worst enemy. Yeah,
exactly. If you get him frustrated, then it's game over.
Yeah, and he self-destructs a bit. Yeah, then that comes with his age. So I can now, mind you, I do know 30 and 60-year-olds who also are their own worst enemy with that, who haven't learned how to mentally calm themselves down. But I usually chalk that up to age. With that'll be an interesting tandem for them. They should. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't do super well at the beginning of the year, but then Ava will probably catch on pretty quickly. And like I said, like once if her ankle's fine and her footwork is good, then she should be okay. I got a feeling though they're probably going to be stacking and playing more of like an 80-20 game.
Yeah, definitely.
In mixed for sure. Especially until she gets used to it. If Connor wants to back off a little bit, make it more of a 70-30 or even like a 60-40 after that, like once she's adapted to that level of play, then we'll see how it goes from there. So, but that's an interesting thing. Yeah. So if so that's gonna be interesting who Ben will play with, because Jacob's got Shay.
Yeah, there's technically no young woman yet.
Yeah, no younger player, because the two young ones was Ava and Shay. So for those of you listening to the podcast right now, this is more of an Alberta thing that we're talking
exactly.
about. Those of you outside of Alberta, we have some very, very good sub like 22-year-olds. So these are all like 18, almost 18 or 19 and under kids playing in Alberta right now.
The one that we're talking about,
and they're the top. They're the top of like 19 and under kids, and they're very, very good. We have played against all of them. I can say I do have their number. I have not lost consistently to them. So I'm happy about that. But they're very, very good, very, very good kids, very, very good players. So it's been awesome to see them grow, and it's forced me to keep my game stepped up, because I don't want them to catch me and beat me consistently. So but yeah, so yeah, it's normally Ben and Jacob, and then it was Ben and Ava, and then Jacob and Shay. So Jacob's probably still going to stay with Shay. So I'm interested who Ben's going to have to find for a female partner to play with.
So yeah, that's why
he's going to have to search for a female partner for sure.
Yeah. That's unfortunate, but anyway, it's for like me. I don't have a mixed partner, because apparently me and my wife does not work well. So
you got to be. How long have you guys been married?
7 years.
Oh, 7. Oh, okay, I got you beat. No.
Yeah, for sure. You got me beat up on that.
So this is a good dad or marriage joke for everyone. So all you need to know as a married man is 5 words. Oh, yeah, right, sorry. Oh, it's 4. Sorry, 4 words. And you can use them individually or in a cluster. Honey, you forgot to take out the trash. Oh. Yeah, right, sorry. Why did I do that? Why didn't I do that? Because you're a lazy slob? Oh, yeah, right. And I'm darn proud. Sorry.
Yeah, you're repeating those 4 just don't stop, and that's good.
Just repeat that, say sorry all the time, and you'll do fine. Yeah, I'll be going on 16 years this coming summer.
Oh, nice.
It served me well. And if Irene was in the room now, she probably would have slapped me in the back of the head for telling that joke, but that's fine. So I think that's it for this one. Once again, welcome back, everyone. We're in season 2 now. And we'll definitely update after that. We'll definitely have Victor's update for the January one in our February podcast.
I'll let you guys know how we did. Hopefully,
and there's a bunch more
smoke
PPA PPA, all that stuff is coming up with that, and then hopefully we have some more CNPL and CPA news for the Canada stuff. I'm gonna double check Pacific Pickleball to see when that league is starting, so we can update stuff on how Casey does.
And hopefully you can get some also update for from Pickleball Alberta, like the provincials.
Yeah, we did have like a 2-day Zoom call stuff over the weekend. They're still looking at spots. I know, and right now it's logistics for figuring out enough courts, parking, that type of stuff. And because we have new leadership in there right now, like we have a board. We just announced the hiring of our I can't remember Cassidy's proper title, but we're still looking for a like an executive or whatever, the head person. That's what's not so we have the president who's on the board, but then the Kirk Jensen used to be the president and like the executive. He used to do both jobs. We're trying to find someone separate for the executive, so that spot is still vacant at the moment, but we're still looking for that. So,
gotcha.
But there was lots of good ideas pitched at the meetings and stuff to like get more involved with some of the clubs and like help development and stuff, especially for rec players, because I know rec players a lot of times feel left out because they don't go to tournaments and stuff like that. So they're like, okay, well, where do all our fees go to aside from the insurance? Right. So like we're looking at programs to do with that. There's a very interesting one that we actually have a pretty good line on what we can do for that. I can't announce anything right now for it, but as soon as I get the go ahead from Pickleball Alberta, that we'll announce it. One, you'll see it on the Pickleball Alberta socials, and then we will also cover it on here, because if this idea goes through really well, I think everybody is going to be super stoked about it. So. Nice. And it's more so for the clubs, and this will cover competitive players, rec players. This is just like a straight across thing, and it's like a money saving thing.
Perfect.
So so if it goes through really well, we'll be super stoked, and I got a feeling it'll be a program that'll continue on for years if we can get all the logistics lined up properly for it.
Sounds like a plan, and everything is in place. Great.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in again. We will see you next month. Tournament season starts up. We'll be having multiple podcasts a month. Hopefully we don't burn ourselves out. I know with my new job this year, I got to be a little bit more picky and choosy about which tournaments I go to, but I'm going to try and go to as many as I possibly can. And then for the CNPL and CPA, if I can't attend them in person, I will definitely be watching them online, and we'll be doing our reaction podcast to those stuff as well. So
yeah, same here. Well, we'll do whatever we can.
Yeah. Well, thanks again for joining me, Victor. I will see you next time. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Andrew. See everyone next time.